to have it at Autzen Stadium.
Oh, yeah. We hope. Yeah, it's
crazy.
great. It's great. Oregon Rotary, or not Oregon, excuse me, Springfield Rotary puts us on as a fundraiser, and we want to let you know where the funding goes.
Yeah,
Is that great?
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Good.
So what we're going to do with it's a fundraiser for the construction of a tiny house by students at Gateways High School. So kind of that Measure 98 bit about hands-on learning. And that tiny house, they will design it, they will construct it, they will put it on a trailer, and then it will be placed in Springfield at the G Street Oasis, which is right across from the old Springfield Middle School. I can't think of the name of the elementary school there now, for a family in transition out of homelessness. So in Springfield, there are no facilities for families. You have facilities for men, facilities for women and children, but this will actually be placed for a family. So we're real excited about that. The kids get a benefit, and the community gets a benefit as well. Yeah, $15 to get in. That's good for both days. You can come today, come back tomorrow. We've got music both nights. Great sounds. Hank Shreve will be playing tonight. Haley Loren. Tomorrow night we'll have Michael Connolly and the Anoki Trio. We have activities for the kids. Kids are welcome between noon and... I'm starting to laugh at you guys.
Yeah, because we're just...
They're drinking while I'm talking here. It's great.
Well,
but we've got activities for the kids. So families can come as well between noon and 5. And after 5, it's 21 and over. But it's a great activity. It's fun.
Just turn out the lights when you're done.
Yeah, there you go.
He cracked open the Belgian ale, and it was like, well, okay. Guess we'll have to have some of that. Yeah, skull.
Yeah, there you go.
How come you're not having any?
Well,
Oh, wow.
I will. He just has to, get that going.
Someone
for
has
me.
to talk.
I didn't want to interrupt her. She was on a roll.
Okay.
I just didn't want to interrupt anybody here.
That's
but,
really tasty, too.
Very different, though, than that first one.
I expected this to be hoppier because every time you were saying citrus, I always think, okay, this means it's going to be hoppy. It means it's going to be hoppy. This is not, it's
grapefruity.
Citrus. Yeah.
There's some hot.
I thought you taste more of the Pinot, too. You don't really...
Yeah.
Maybe a
Yeah, when wineries get rid of their barrels, they're often oak neutral, so you don't get a lot of the oak flavors or even there can be some fruit flavors. This one also was only in the barrel for 3 months. Okay. Some beers we might age 1, 2, or 3 years, which will pick up more of that flavor.
I mean, you can smell the hops, but the taste of it isn't like, oh God, hops.
Yeah, there's hops. It's hop flavored and it's hop aroma, but it's not huge and bitter. And we don't use a lot of bittering hops. We don't make those style of beers.
Thank you.
We're just a little different.
For summer, this would be. I mean,
my
this
gosh.
is huge.
This would be after one of those 90-degree days and mowing the lawn and sitting out there.
Well, great news. We are opening a tasting room and barrel house out on Territorial Highway.
Really?
Real soon. It's right beside King Estate Winery, just to give a point. To find it, and you'll be able to sit on our patio and drink a beer like this real soon.
It's delicious.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And well deserved.
So
Yes.
2 for 2.
How much, if I recall correctly, you try to source as much of your stuff locally as you can, right?
We do. You can't find everything here, but if we can find fruit and any of the ingredients, hops, of course, are in the Northwest, we try.
All right, so the Mackenzie Cider and Craft Brew Fest starts today when?
At 5 o'clock at the Willamette Center in Springfield, the newly named Bob Kiefer Center.
And hours tomorrow?
And the hours tomorrow are noon to 11. It's until 11 both nights.
Yes.
And what about LTD, real quick?
Yeah, LTD will provide free bus rides. If you go to our website at mccbf.com, there is a token or a bus pass that you can actually just copy, download, hand it to the driver, and leave the driving to them.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
The driving to them. Thank you both for coming in.
Oh, thank you
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
us. We're excited to be
We
here.
love this event. This event is huge. And if you've never been, go forth, have a great day. And don't forget, Stuff the Bus today,
Bye.
day 2 and day 3. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the sun tomorrow. The rain is coming, and we'll be back Monday.
Sitting down, reaching out, listening. There's not much of that in politics anymore. But that's what Arnie Roblin's always done. As co-speaker of the Oregon House, Arnie led a bipartisan coalition to close a $3.5 billion budget shortfall. In the state Senate, Arnie Roblin keeps bringing people together to increase education funding to $7.4 billion and support Project Independence so more seniors can get the home care they need. The Register Guard endorsed Arnie Roblin, saying he has an unmatched record of working with a broad range of people to better the lives of coastal residents. But what about Republican Dick Anderson? As Lincoln City Mayor, Anderson bullied his neighbors by trying to forcibly annex their houses. Dick Anderson opposed increasing the minimum wage, and Dick Anderson was against paid sick days for Oregon workers. The difference is clear: a bridge builder or a bully. Who do we want in Salem?
Paid for by friends of Arnie Roblin.
If you or someone you care about has a problem with alcohol or drugs, we encourage you to call Serenity Lane. Because of our nonprofit status, we are able to keep our prices affordable for you, the working men and women of Oregon. We advertise so we can fulfill our mission to save lives and help put families back together. Serenity Lane, a private not-for-profit treatment center for alcohol and other drug dependencies. Call or click serenitylane.org.
This message is brought to you by Serenity Lane in association with Ears.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. A potential terror threat ahead of Election Day. The FBI and New York City police investigating. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Lisa, Al-Qaeda may be planning for pre-Election Day attacks on Monday in New York, Virginia, and Texas. Counterterrorism officials are working to verify the credibility of the threat, which did not mention specific sites in those three states. The New York City Police Department says it's working with the FBI and counterterrorism officials, and a spokesman for New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says there will be an increased police presence over the coming days. It's not clear how the intelligence came to the attention of investigators. Lisa.
Thanks, Rachel. 3 U.S. service members now confirmed dead in Jordan in an attack near a military training facility. Guilty verdicts just announced in the so-called Bridgegate trial of 2 former allies of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Bridget Kelly and Bill Baroni convicted on all counts for using a traffic jam as retaliation against a mayor who refused to endorse Christie's bid for re-election. Christie denied any knowledge of the plot and has never been charged. The World Series champions are being honored with a Chicago parade, more than a century in the making. Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso is live along the route.
Lisa, it's about to get really loud here along Michigan Avenue as we await the 2016 World Champion Chicago Cubs. It is a sea of people in all directions, the atmosphere very electric with generations of family members, grandparents to grandchildren, plastered in Cub jerseys, and holding that W flag high, many of them after 108 years, Lisa, still in disbelief.
Thanks, Jeff. With just 4 days to go, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will each hit 3 key states today. Meantime, President Obama holding 2 rallies for Clinton in North Carolina. He's making 11 stops in 7 days. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Want to invest but don't know what to do? In search of fixed double-digit rates immune to currency, real estate, and stocks? Discover the alternative asset Barron's magazine describes as lucrative and safe. An investment immune to Fed manipulation and low interest rates. Request a prospectus guide. Call Cornerstone at 800-222-INFO. 800-222-INFO. That's 800-222-INFO.
If you are behind on your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt or medical bills forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. It's not bankruptcy, it's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven. Call for your free forgiveness information now. 800-719-2090. That's 800-719-2090. Don't wait. Call 800-719-2090.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Deb Carson.
Cubs manager Joe Maddon and many of the players and their families are already at Wrigley Field lining up and getting set to take part in the victory parade today in Chicago as the Cubs celebrate their first World Series championship in 108 years. They've even turned the river blue in the Windy City. Last night, the Atlanta Falcons improved to 6-3 with a 43-28 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs fall to 3-5. Also have a couple notable injuries for Tampa Bay. Quarterback Jameis Winston left the game with a knee injury after throwing 3 touchdown passes. Says the injury is not serious. Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans left the game with a concussion. He'll have to be evaluated by an independent neurologist before being permitted to practice or play. NBA last night, Kevin Durant played against his old team for the first time. His Warriors rolled the Thunder 122-96.
Fire, ice, hot, cold, why compromise your home comfort? Resolve your heating and cooling issues by contacting Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts to listen to your concerns and analyze why you are uncomfortable in your own home. Their professional staff will explain their good, better, and best solutions, allowing you a solution with quality Carrier products fitting within your budget. Pacific Air Comfort, quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not cooking dinner for one. I'm on horseback, galloping across the Scottish moors towards my one true love. There, through the mist, I see my beloved, kilt flapping in the breeze. The fibers of his shirt struggle against his bulging muscles as he takes me from my horse and... my frittata!
Go to audible.com/act now, and your first download is free. Audible, stories that surround you.
Are you a baby boomer? Afraid of stocks and commodity prices? Want to invest but don't know what to do? Discover the alternative asset class Barron's Magazine describes as both lucrative and safe. Discover high yields without market volatility. Request a prospectus guide. Call Cornerstone at 800-222-INFO. 800-222-INFO. That's 800-222-INFO.
It's 9:06 and time for Rush. Rush Limbaugh on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting. It is beneath these people to be doing this kind of thing, but I guess it shows their desperation. What? Obama out there saying... Obama's out there talking about how Trump would be comfortable with the Klan, and Hillary Clinton's out there talking about how the Klan's biggest newspaper has endorsed Trump.
And
there is no such
from
thing.
Sunny South Florida, it's Open Line Friday.
Greetings, my friends. It's great to have you. Open Line Friday. Rush Limbaugh here for another 3 hours. Broadcast excellence, the most listened to radio talk show in America, meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day. Remember, Open Line Friday differs Monday through Thursday in this way. I am a benevolent dictator. What I say goes here. We talk about the things I care about Monday through Thursday, but on Friday we don't. If you want to talk about anything, if you're tired of the campaign and you want to talk about something else, this is the day to go for it. Again, the number 800-282-2882. You can send an email. We check them. lrushbo@eibnet.us. Yes, Obama's out there he's down in, I guess it was Miami yesterday. I forget exactly where, Florida. And he's doing a stand-up comedy routine. And he's talking about Rubio. He's saying, yeah, Marco Rubio and all these Republicans, you know what? Even if they're for things I'm for, they won't say so. They won't do it. They will oppose me just to oppose me. They'll cut off their nose, but their face. And then he went on to describe how he tests the theory that he will propose legislation Now, I want you to stop and think about this. He will propose legislation that he has heard them say they are for, meaning Republicans. He was talking about Rubio particularly, but he was saying about all Republicans. He will propose things he has heard them say before and watch them vote against it just because he proposed it. Well, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. Obama doesn't propose legislation that gets voted on. Legislation is introduced in the House of Representatives in the United States Senate. Now, he has legislative aides. I don't want to make too big a fine point about this. But I think that's just a crock. I think it's as big a crock as Obama out there saying that Donald Trump would be comfortable with the Ku Klux Klan. These people know no bottom. They are, I think, incorrigible when it comes to the depths to which they will sink. And then Hillary's out there basically echoing it by saying that Trump was endorsed by the Klan's leading newspaper. What newspaper? What is the Klan news? If you wanted to subscribe to the Klan newspaper, what would it be? What would you trying to tell me they got a Klan newspaper? Some one lone guy that's running a paper, supposedly the official paper of the Klan, right? And it's endorsed Trump, and so therefore, right? Okay, so Hillary's out there echoing this, folks. As I look at things, as I've said all week, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think anybody else does either. And there's any number of ways to analyze the data that we have. We have polling data. We have the places that all the different candidates are going in these remaining 4 days. We have the people that are accompanying them. For example, Hillary and Obama and spouses. Hey, I have a question. Speaking of that, if Hillary wins and Bill moves to the White House with her, will they have to inform the neighborhood that a sexual offender has moved into the White House? Well, isn't that something that happens? I'm just asking because I don't really have the answer to the question. Anyway, they're going to be in Philadelphia tonight. Philadelphia? Philadelphia is Pennsylvania. What are they doing in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania should be sewn up. The Republicans, Trump, should have no prayer in Pennsylvania. Yet they're all going to be in Philadelphia. But it's not just that. There's going to be a giant concert. Stevie, the boy wonder, is going to be playing, along with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Anything to mask the fact that it's a Hillary Clinton rally. They've got to do something to get a crowd out. I think it's a tantamount admission Hillary can't draw a crowd on her own. Look at what it's going to take to get this crowd. It's going to take Barack Hussein Obama and the lovely Michelle Maybell Obama. It's going to take Der Schlickmeister, Slick Willie himself, Stevie Wonder, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. And there's a story here in the stack warning everybody, just because people show up and cheer Beyonce and Jay-Z does not mean they're cheering and supporting Hillary. But that doesn't matter. They want the photo op. But it's these kinds of things that are admittedly called anecdotal that you look at and you try to assign meaning to, and you just can't. There are too many unknowns, and Trump is too big an outsider. You cannot, and I've maintained this from the beginning, you cannot analyze this campaign as you would a traditional campaign with two political professionals in it, because one of the candidates is not a political professional and doesn't have the appeal that a political professional appeals. Trump's appeal is entirely different from that of a political professional. And therefore, I think it's hard to track, it's hard to gauge, it's hard to measure. And they're doing their best in the drive-by and the mainstream media to do all that, to analyze it and make sense of it, but I don't think they can. I mean, one of the candidates literally has nothing to do with anything that's going on in the country in terms of government or politics. There's not a Donald Trump fingerprint on anything. So Hillary hasn't been able to run around and blame Trump for what's going on. That's all on her. That's all on Obama. You know, she doesn't even bring up Obamacare. She can't talk about Obamacare. The signature achievement for Barack Hussein, she can't talk about it because it's a disaster. The premiums are skyrocketing. And the reality of that really going to hit after the election and as we get into next year. 25 to 116% increases in premiums for a product the federal government has mandated that every citizen must buy or pay a fine. So it's I think, increasingly difficult to get your arms around this campaign because there's no way that you can use traditional techniques to analyze it. And yet that's all anybody's doing. I mean, the only analysis that we have out there is the traditional analysis you would get as though both candidates have years and years of experience in Washington, have a political resume, have a political track record. Trump doesn't. But the reason that matters to me, and I think that it might be a factor, is that the reason for his support is entirely different than any other Republican would be supported. It's entirely different than the reason Hillary is supported. Trump is attracting people for entirely different reasons, and maybe an entirely different group of people to boot. So it's hard to forecast, and I think it's hard to analyze traditional polling data and make sense of it. Now, the polls are tightening, as I think, yes, I was the one who predicted. New York Times has it Hillary +3. Folks, that's dead heat. That's margin of error. New York. Speaking of which, I was reading my little tech blogs today. The tech blogs are a bunch of millennials. They are millennials, and like many, not all, like many millennials, they're arrogant and think they know everything. And I guess every person when they're 18, 34 thinks they know everything. And that adults are kind of behind the times and not hip and don't know what's going on. Anyway, these little tech bloggers today, folks, they are orgasmic. I mean, I can see them masturbating to their keyboards today. You know why? Because the New York Times has removed its paywall for the last 4 days. So the little tech bloggers are just beside themselves. They're so excited. The New York Times is free. Oh, my God. They can't contain their excitement about this. So, yes, they're tightwads, but they're tightwads because they don't have any money. And they don't have any money because of the Obama economy, though that's not what they know. They don't blame Obama for anything. They don't hold Obama accountable for anything, nor Hillary, actually. These are classic propagandized youth. They are perfect examples of the indoctrination that happens in education today. They all believe in climate change. They all believe man's doing it. They all believe the planet's not going to be habitable by the time they're age 65. They literally believe this stuff. So now they can barely contain themselves. The New York Times is free. They hate paying for it. They hate cable. They hate anything that costs money. They hate people that spend money on expensive things because that keeps the prices up. And they write about this. They have disdain for, except they love Bill Gates and Steve Jobs' wealth. I guess that's okay with them. But the disconcerting aspect of this is that they can't read the New York Times. Now, to you and me, the New York Times is flawed, biased, not objective. The New York Times has not written a thing about the FBI investigation of the Clinton Foundation. In fact, the only outlets who have are Fox News and the Wall Street Journal. No other drive-by media is getting into it. They're not touching it. Not at all. In terms of the investigation, they are writing about it, about how Fox is out of control. And they're writing about it as though the FBI is biased against Hillary. But they're not covering the substance of the issue. This would be akin to the drive-by media ignoring Richard Nixon at Watergate. It's that big. That means, folks, that there's a lot of people in this country that do not know, because if the Times doesn't cover it, then the AP doesn't cover it. The AP doesn't cover it, then 4,000 papers in America don't report it. And then Yahoo News doesn't have it, and the Facebook news feed doesn't have it, and there's nothing much on it on Twitter on the left side, so there's a whole bunch of people that are not going to know anything about the fact that the FBI has been investigating the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation for over a year, and with just cause. There may well have been criminal activity going on, may still be going on. The pay-for-play aspects, selling United States foreign policy. But there's half the country that's not learning about it, half the country not hearing about it, and they won't hear about it because the The story is being buried. By the way, I have to tell you, you want to know something else weird, folks? I got in here today. We have 2 TV monitors, as I have explained to you on previous occasions, and I have their direct TV. And we have cable backup. And so we're covered if something goes wrong. We have redundancy. And today I walk in here and both the monitors are showing me screens that indicate we've lost a satellite connection, as though maybe a bill hasn't been paid or there's some problem with the downlink or whatever. And we're being called, call extension 773 customer service. They don't give you a number to call. They just say call extension 773 or whatever it is. So I started flipping around here, and I found it was the monitors are on CNN and Fox. Top monitors on CNN, bottom monitors on Fox. I found out that if I want to watch ESPN or any other channel I can, it's just CNN and Fox that are not being received by my DirecTV receivers. So I went over there to the 2FT conference room, which is an entirely different network. I mean, it's a different